What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the show. You're watching Ravens Rundown. I'm your host, Joey Petersen. Every question I'm going to answer on today's show was a question asked in our Tuesday live shows. We go live every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So for the next one, come join us. It's an absolute blast. And I'll let you guys know when we're going live on my social media. So follow me, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me. Same handles for both Joey Petersen 8 and Joey Petersen 8. Make sure you're spelling Petersen right. It's with an E. Very important if you want to find me. Follow me there. I tweet about the Ravens every single day. And you know what? First 5 people to follow me, I'll give you a shout out on Saturday's live stream against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alrighty, let's get into it. The first one coming from Carlos Zeladon. Carlos saying, #Ravens, I think OBJ is a good sign. Was thinking about yesterday's vid and realized that obviously OBJ can't be the main target when you're next to a guy like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. All right, Carlos, I agree. And at the point that I'm answering this in current time, it is Tuesday, 4:57. We've still got about 24 hours until the rosters freeze over. When this video comes out, the rosters will already have freezed, and OBJ will either be a Baltimore Raven or not. My opinion is that he won't be. But I agree. I think he would be a good sign, especially if you don't have a guy like Zay Flowers playing on Saturday, right? He's already been on this team. He's played for this offensive coordinator. He's played for this head coach. He's played with this quarterback. He's been in this locker room. He's been in this wide receiver room. Like, all these things kind of point to it being almost a seamless transition. And so, if he does get signed, I'd love it. And if he doesn't, it's kind of like, oh, okay. I don't think you're missing out on that much. But I wouldn't hate it for a depth reason. Coming up next, we got Chipper. Handsome looking lad right there. Said, do the Ravens lose any big pieces this offseason? Great question. We talked about this on a video earlier this week, actually, Chip. And so there's a lot of really good Ravens players set to be free agents. Ronnie Stanley, Mekari, Ricard, Nelson Agholor, or Darius Washington. Some others onto that, Malik Harrison, Chris Board, Brent Urban. But these are kind of the 5 main ones, in my opinion. You don't have that much in cap space, because even though you did a lot with Marcus Williams' contract, you still don't have that much in cap space because you're paying a lot of people a lot of money. And I think they're going to be saving up to possibly pay a guy like Kyle Hamilton a lot of money as well. Okay? And so you got a lot of assets. And that's just kind of what happens when you're a good team. And so I do think it's possible for this team to lose a couple of guys to free agency. Hell, you saw it last year with Patrick Queen. I don't think any of us wanted Patrick Queen to leave this team. You saw it last year with Zeitler, with Moses, right? And so I think this is just what happens. When you're a good team, you pay a lot of money to good players. That doesn't mean you have, and that means you don't have a lot of money to pay a ton of other people, okay? So name them for me in the comment section down below. Who is a free agent the Ravens lose in the year 2025? Call it for me. Call them out. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. When that time comes, don't panic. Don't freak out. Go to the comment section, find this pinned comment, and reply with your answer. Next one, coming up from Michael Stab. #Ravens, do you think the Ravens will stick with their identity and keep pounding the ball with Henry? Michael, I do. Multiple reasons. Number one, we don't know if Zay Flowers is going to play or not. So that takes away your number one pass catcher. And so, obviously, up next, your thought is going to be, okay, give the best running back in the league the ball. Also, Saturday's game, as of right now, the weather sits at 32 degrees for the high, 22 degrees for the low. So it is going to be literally, as science states, freezing. Cold weather, what does that mean? Oftentimes, you hand the ball off. Also, last time Henry played Pittsburgh, he was dominant. He had 7 rushes of 10 yards or more, most by a running back in the NFL in 2024. Okay? Across the entire league. And so I do think the Ravens will stick with keep pounding the rock. He's had over 120 yards in each of his last 3 games. I don't think that changes. Great question. Coming up next, Mike Nintendo Master. Mike, what's up, man? Great question. Says, if Zay is not able to go, who needs to step up to get the win? I talked about this a little bit earlier this week, but I got 3 guys. Okay? And shout out producer Jack. That took him 0.2 seconds. Rashod Bateman. Isaiah Likely and Justice Hill. Okay, Rashod Bateman's been a phenomenal wide receiver 2 all season long. But being a wide receiver 1 is very different. You're getting the attention of their best corner. You're getting the attention of their defensive coordinator. You're getting the attention of everybody on that defense, okay? Can he do it? I think he can, but it's going to be a big jump, okay? Let's talk about Isaiah Likely next. Flashed onto the scene earlier this season. Game against Kansas City. Right? Was his toe in? Was it out? We all remember that. But since then, I don't think he's had really as dominant of a performance. Multiple reasons for that. You can only get so many yards in a football game when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson running the ball, you got a guy like Derrick Henry running the ball, you got Zay Flowers, you got Mark Andrews. And ever since Mark Andrews kind of had a lot better of a season after that week 4, Isaiah Likely's kind of fallen back a little bit into the shadows, okay? And so I'm not saying he's going to step up and be a wide receiver 1, but I'd love to see him get 5 catches, 50 yards. I would love that out of Likely. And then Justice Hill. He has as many catches, or close to as many catches, as Nelson Agholor does this year, out of the backfield. He is a pass-catching running back. That's his go-to. That's his forte. I need him to step up. I need him to be another pass-catching option for Lamar Jackson this upcoming weekend against Pittsburgh. If you guys want to make this weekend a little bit more fun, sweeten the deal a little bit, if you will, you could go over. Use our friends over at Prize Picks because it's playoff time. It's the most exciting time of the year, and it's now or never. So don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash on watching the playoffs. You can have up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 passing yards next week? Well, Patrick Mahomes passed for only 1.5 passing touchdowns. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Let's take a look at my Prize Picks going into tomorrow's matchup. I got the more on Derrick Henry rush yards, 100.5, and I've got the less on pass yards for both Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. All that's to say, it's going to be cold, it's going to be freezing. I think they run the football a lot, both sides of the ball. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Next one coming up from It's Red Eye. Hashtag Ravens, do you think Tylan Wallace or Nelson Agholor will take the wide receiver 2 spot if Bateman takes the number 1 receiver spot for the Steelers game? Okay, so I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. It's Red Eye. I think they don't take the pass catcher 2 spot. I think that spot is going to be taken up by Mark Andrews. I think Rashod Bateman goes to 1, Mark Andrews goes to 2. Hell, Mark Andrews might even go to 1 and Rashod Bateman stay to 2. But if you're just talking wide receivers, I think it's going to be Nelson Agholor, okay? I know we've all seen flashes from Tylan Wallace, and I kind of would prefer to get the ball in Wallace's hands over Agholor's. But at the end of the day, there's a reason that a guy like Nelson Agholor has more targets this season than Tylan Wallace does, okay? So I do think Nelson Agholor will fill that wide receiver 2 role. I would love to see Tylan Wallace fill in that wide receiver 3 role, getting the action as well. Next up, Attended Squad. Hashtag Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Way to get the full name in there, Attended Squad. Do you think the Ravens beat the Chiefs this year? Ooh, I sure as hell hope so. I would love, and I know this might be like knocking on the Grim Reaper's door, but I would love to play KC in the playoffs. I would. Because obviously they're a fantastic team. They've won back-to-back Super Bowls, number 1 seed in the AFC, only lost 1 game with their starters. I know they lost 2 games overall, but still. But they played so many close games to so many bad teams. I just think at some point, that's got to bite them, right? At some point, someone's got to knock them off. And I know they beat you week 1, but I think this team can knock them off if they get them in the playoffs. Up next from Snowmobile, or Snowmobile, who's been your biggest surprise performer this year? Awesome question. I've got a couple. I talked a lot already this week about Ardarius Washington. I think coming into this season, nobody and I mean nobody, expected him to be the reason for this turnaround. Okay? He's been phenomenal. And speaking of that defensive turnaround, I'm going to throw Zach Agholor into the mix. Okay? You could go find it right now. Live on the channel after that win against the Bengals, when you gave up 43 points, I believe, if I remember correctly, I was saying Zach Agholor needs to go. He's done. He's toast. And he's made the necessary adjustments to turn this team's defense around. I did not think this team could win a Super Bowl after the first 11 weeks of the season because their defense was so bad. My opinion's changed now, okay? So, Darius Washington, Zach Agholor, I know it's a little bit of cheating. I would say those two are my top surprises. Also, you could throw in there Rashod Bateman. He's been phenomenal. Caught for over 700 yards. 9 touchdowns on the year as well. Ronnie Stanley as well. Surprising as in, he got through an entire year healthy, and he's been playing phenomenal for the entirety of it, okay? So you tell me, who has been your biggest surprise performance this year, okay? I'm going to flip the question back to you guys. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Pick a player. It could be one of mine. Pick a coach if you want to, but just let me know. Next up, Andrew Tyler. Who should we re-sign this offseason? Great question, Andrew. I actually talked about this in an earlier video from this weekend. Of all those free agents, I think the two that I have my eyes on re-signing, Ronnie Stanley or Darius Washington. I talked about them just in the last question. They've been so important to this team's success, both on the offensive line and both on the defense. Okay, we kind of came into this year saying offensive line is going to be the biggest weakness. And there's been games where they haven't been as strong, but as a whole, they've been phenomenal. I think part of that is Ronnie Stanley, and then Darius Washington, I can't say enough good things about him, has really turned this defense around on its head from where it was in the first 10 weeks this season to where it's been the last 7. Next up, we got a second one from my man Mike Nintendo Master. Just so many good questions from him. Saying #Ravens. If Lamar can't get a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, is it time to let him go? No, it's not, Mike. Just because someone hasn't doesn't mean they can't, okay? And I get it. He's been in the league for a long time. He's been a starter for a while as well. But still, it's the old, adage about statistics. Just because I flip a coin and it lands on heads, that does not change what the next coin flip will be. It's still going to be 50-50. So just because he hasn't won a Super Bowl doesn't mean he can't win a Super Bowl. And so I think, who else is going to give you a better shot? Genuinely. Think about quarterbacks in this league right now who have won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes. Matthew Stafford. I'm trying to think of anybody else, Jack. Brady's gone. Peyton Manning's gone. Drew Brees is gone. Allen's never won one. Burrow hasn't won one. It's who's going to give you a better shot than him right there? Nobody, okay? Speaking of Josh Allen, last question of the day. Coming from Josh Allen Sucks. Couldn't agree more. What's your prediction for this weekend? Awesome question. I predict classic AFC North. I predict freezing cold. I predict 25 carries from Derrick Henry. Ultimately, I predict a win, 24-20. I don't think they cover. 9.5 points, in my opinion, is kind of high, but I do think they win the football game. I think it's going to be gritty. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's just going to be classic AFC North football, and I think they come out on top. It's going to be a close one, though. I'm excited. Do it for me in the comment section down below. I just did predict the score. You heard mine, 24-20. Now it's your turn. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. Again, if you haven't already, follow me on social media. You can find me at Petersen8. All that information, my social media, it's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. Also, thanks to producer Jack. It's right there. Hit me up.